Welcome back to Hot Rods World. Today I wanted to go through a quick um, walkthrough because I haven't. The last video showed that we got the motor back and it's going through the shifter, but today I want to show you what I got it going on to. You look, she's back on blocks. Got my trusty cardboard slash roller in here. And when we put the motor in here, one thing that we noticed is that the drive shaft was, sorry about that, get my light plug back up. But we noticed that the drive shaft was almost hitting the floorboard. So that led me to believe, or us, that my pinion angle was way off. It was almost pointing up. And the only thing I could recall is that if you look here, sorry about the camera, but if you look here, you know, the wheel, the lower control arm kind of puts the wheel in the fender, and then you use your uppers to get your pinion angle and also your left to right, like where the tire sits into the fender wheel. So like if you were to look down, and this is kind of one of the things, you look down to see kind of where this tire hits the skirt on that side. You kind of see where it hits the top of the skirt right there, and then you would basically go, so you use your upper control arms, especially on a 4-link car like ours, well, triangulated 4-link on a Mustang. The two uppers set your pinion angle and also sets your lateral in the car, left to right. And you use your lowers to push the tire back and forth. But I remember probably last year, as the car settles, sorry about that. So as the car settles, it actually wants to pull the tire back in the fender well. So like, just hard launches the suspension. Sorry, I keep thinking about where I want to switch it. But I had where I was having issues with the tire actually hitting the body kit. You can see right here, we're starting to scrape here. So what I did was I took the control arm and I pulled it forward. And when you pull it forward, it actually messes up the pinion angle, because when you pull the tire forward, it actually sends the pinion upward because you're pulling it down. So let's see. So I've been under here. I think I watched Dave Zimmerman's from Team Z. He's got a good tutorial on how they set up cars. So the first thing he says, hey, get behind the car and kind of get a line on the body where you think it's similar. So that's what I did to make sure at least the tires in the fender well are similar as possible, right? I measured it, and I think it's like one line off from each side, but it's not enough for me to keep there going back and forth, because you have to turn it to get it almost exactly right. But if you look at the body lines, because that's why I measure, because technically if you measured off the tire, depending on how high this tire is, like there's a crease up here, there's the bubble right here, so you have to make sure you're exactly same spot. So what I did was I just picked a point on the body for me and made sure it was the same. But if you're looking for a more accurate video than mine, I would go to Dave Zimmerman. I think it's Zimmerman. I can't remember. It's Dave from Team Z. But what I'll do is I'll put a link in the description below. So if you have, but this is only for a triangulate 4-link car. But I'll all right, so what you got here is like we talked about, and I'm trying to get some angles here. Luckily, I have double adjustable, so what that means is this jam nut here is one here and then one on the body, and I can just turn it. Same with my uppers. They're sitting here, and it has, luckily on these, it actually has a screw, a wrench where you can get it up there. So it works out pretty good, where I can just, put it up here and twist it. Because this does have a lot of pressure, because it's actually moving the rim left to right. And so it works out pretty good. force. But before, if you look here, I'm trying to see if I can see, I couldn't do this. Like before, it was almost hitting this. This reel was almost hitting it. But what I did find out is I got this good Swanson thing here. So right now we're looking at about a -2 here. I know it's hard to tell with this camera. And then he had a 9-inch forward, so he put it here, but it doesn't really give us a good indication because that on at least on the 8.8, this right here kind of is tapered upward. So if you put it up here, it's not 100% flat. Where if I were to drop the drive shaft, but luckily I got this little spot right here. I got enough of a flat platform right here to put my dial gauge on to get some measurements on. So I think it works out pretty good for me there. So that's what I do. And basically, this it's just so hard. It's not enough room in here but basically this was a -2.5, and this was at like 0.5. So you subtract them because it's positive. So it's a -2 degrees, which is pretty good for a car that's set up with not a person in there. Because you figure by the time I sit down in here, the suspension will come down. It'll probably give me that inch. But they normally recommend anywhere from an inch to 2 inches of negative drive shaft. So that by the time, because naturally the rim is going to pick up. So by the time, what you're hoping to do is pick it up that is almost at a negative, a zero, how do I want to say it? A 0 degree to your transmission, so you shouldn't have any bind. But you know, there's so many points in here that could move. But what you try not to do is have it like I had it. This was pointing up here, like you say. I couldn't even get my hand on top. It was so close, and you know, some spots in here you can. I don't know if it was hitting before, but I'm trying to mark them on this drive shaft. But anyway, I just want to make a quick video. I didn't want to talk you to death, but I'll try to. Just got to come back and clean up. But what I did notice, so by raising the car up, it also, when you got to think about it, when you pick the front end of the rim as it's going down, it's picking the back end up. So what it actually did is lift the back end up, because that's where my shocks are mounted. It actually, the spring, you know, where it was pointed like this, so the car sit lower. When I did like this, it picked the back of the back of the rim up, which lifted the springs up. So it actually picked up the car about 0.75 inches, which I think I'm going to leave it there. It was getting a little too low, and I was losing the actual. I was losing my anti-squat value. There are plenty of calculators out there, but for a radial, they claim you need to be above a 140. And, you know, people that don't have all the calculators, and, you know, I don't have the exact measurements. I just try to put them in there, what I know. But they basically say if you can get your bottom bar going uphill just a tad bit, you're kind of in the space you need to. But I kind of like it because I was having trouble getting it on the car trailer. I was having trouble getting the door open. So picking it up, it's not too bad. What I'll probably do, sorry, this video is really close, but what I'll probably do is I probably in the video, I'll try to take a snapshot of the car sitting on the ground when I started up last video. And this time, it didn't pick it up much. I measured it before and after, so it picked it up 0.75 to almost an inch per se. But I'll think it'll work out a little bit better. I don't know. Only time will tell. So that's the last thing I had to do. I think in the last video, I don't know if I said it or not. I have to go back and look. But one of the things, I did have a fuel leak. And it was around some of the fittings up there where I did it. So what I did do is, I don't know if I got the Permatech gasket seal and put up there. It takes 24 hours to cure. And it was right around, where's my old fuel seal? But it was right around, here's my old fuel seal. I'll show you real quick. So it was trying to leak right around in here. and it was trying to leak right up here. And you can see on some of my old stuff, you can see where they actually put a little fuel gasket maker up there, and some of my regulators up there. That's what my buddy used to seal it up when I originally put the car motor in the car. So I had some. So anyway, guys, till next time. Like I said, hopefully next time I'll at least be making some motor passes. Me myself, some people don't do it. I like to make motor passes just to make sure, you know, everything's working smooth. My brakes. I do have an electric shifter now. I want to make sure it works. The car goes straight, at least on motor. You know, it's not trying to pull me left or right. And then after that, I like to come back with. I don't know if I'm going to do both kits in 60 foot or try to make a full pass on just one kit. But we'll talk about that next time. And it's just like you say, it's personal preference. Some people go out there and make a motor pass and come back and hit it with a 330. I guess I just ain't there. Mentally, I like to do stuff more. I say more lackadaisical because just how I am. And it's so hard to get parts. So I want to be very, very careful. Like before, if you grenaded it, I mean, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you can get parts. Now, I mean, you're talking about 3 months, 4 months. I mean, it took me almost. I think I dropped the car off in March, and I think back then the parts it took about I think 12 to 16 weeks just to get pistons, and it's just a nightmare getting it in. So if you enjoy racing, you definitely want to be very careful with it. So anyway, guys, I appreciate your time. As always, comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Or maybe you already did that because I already said subscribe. But the notification will let you know whenever I post new videos. But until then, I'll see you guys.